Hi, it's Kristina again. And it was kind of a rainy day here in the greater Seattle area. And we're just seeing a little bit of sun as I'm about to record a short video for you. So thank you for your comments from the last video where I talked about the one scale to rule them all. And I talked about the major pentascale or major five-finger scales. And before that, the video was about 5 components of piano practice. And the videos that I'm working on right now are to unpack these 5 components. So last week was about technical exercises. Of course, one video, I only talked about one thing. There's a lot more to talk about. But I'm trying to just make it also, bite-sized information for you. Because again, I said it last week, there's a lot of information available everywhere. The question is, how do you make the information into something that's usable for your learning and really result in your own transformation? So today's topic is going to be how to learn piano pieces or tunes or songs. We're all talking about the same thing, what I call repertoire or your playlist. These are the pieces and songs that you play. And there are different ways of learning piano pieces. So let's talk about that. First way is to learn by ear. And this is the most ancient way because we didn't have writing before, right? People sat around probably a fire pit. Sounds really nice. And singing some songs, maybe doing some drumming and joining along. And then when that became more ritualistic, it got passed down to the next generation. That's ear training, right? Oral tradition. So still, one way to learn to play the piano and any instrument or songs is by listening and learning the oral tradition. And you should still practice it, even if you know how to read music, because the most important thing for a musician is to develop their ears. So listen, try it out, match the note on the piano, or figure out some phrases, or figure out the chords they're using. This is a very good practice. Second way to learn to play the piano piece or piano song is with a chord chart. So I'm going to show this on my overhead camera. A chord chart looks like that. And you can find these chord charts very easily on the internet because there's no copyright for chord progressions and there's no copyright for words. So when you just have lyrics and chords, you can find them. I use Ultimate Guitar Tabs to find songs. And what you do is you have a very simple information, but you actually have a lot you need. I mean, most bands just use chord charts, right? This song is Can't Help Falling in Love. And I have like C chord with E minor chord and A minor chord, and I have the words like, wise men say only fools rush in. That's a lot you can do, just playing chords. And you can use the chords to make up some patterns, like accompaniment patterns. Only fools rush in. So you can do that. And now if you are familiar with the 5-finger scales that I talked about last week and you know how to play the 5-finger scales, then you naturally learn the major chords or major triads. And when you know your major triads really well, learning the minor triad is like this, right? So you can do stuff like that right away that's why it's so important to know all those 12 5-finger scales really well. Another way to learn piano piece or song is by using a lead sheet. So lead sheet has one more information than the chord chart. Lead sheets have melody. Okay, so it just helps you to figure out this is same song, but it's in the key of F. So now we're in the key of F here. Wise men say only fools rush in. That's the key we're in. And now I have the melody. That's my melody written down for me. And I can use the chord information. I can do very simple things. I'm using just root positions, using the triads in my left hand, not doing anything fancy, using a lead sheet. But a lead sheet is a very powerful thing. It gives you the outline for the music, and I love using lead sheets because actually this is the way I like to, make my own arrangement. I have, I can start that way, but I can expand it more. Yeah, I'm just using a lead sheet for that. Don't you just love it or hate it when the piano teacher goes like, look what I can do, right? So I will try not to do that. Okay, so fourth way to learn a piano piece or a song is by reading the score or sheet music. So a score has not everything, but the most amount of information for reading music. I say not everything because there's nothing on paper that can capture the music that happens. But especially classical music, score gives you all the notes, the rhythm, and dynamics, articulation. It gives you so much more information to understand the intention of the composer. But this is the big problem in learning to play the piano, because learning piano music takes a long time and it is hard for most people. Over 99% of the people who try to learn to play the piano, this is their big challenge. I know it because I've taught many students, and I've taught many students who are really musical and they have really good ear. But when it comes to reading, it takes a really long time. I've taught students who are like really mathematical, almost geniuses, and they get it. They understand the reading, but it's not just the reading, it's also reading and being able to execute it with your fingers and your body at the right time on the piano. That's a lot. Okay, so if you feel like you're challenged by reading, most people have challenges. All right, so and there's a way of working these things out, and over time I will talk more about that. But don't let that discourage you. Okay, there are other ways of learning to play the piano. Okay, so the next thing I want to say is the fifth way of learning to piano, and teachers like me really believe in this method of teaching, which is like teaching by showing, teaching pieces by showing. And the reason is because when students come to learn to play the piano, they have much greater ability to play than to read. They can excel at playing quicker than reading. So this is our way of, not letting the reading become the thing that stops them from advancing. And while students are working on the reading, we can give these rote pieces and teach them how it's done, show them, you know, hand holding and show them the way so they can actually play things that they feel really excited and, you know, proud. It's really, I think it's really good to feel proud of the things that you're making. Okay, so let me explain a little bit more about this. Most piano method books start in what we call middle C position. Okay, so this is middle C, and because you know you learn these 5 notes first, C, D, E, F, G on treble clef, and then you learn these 5 notes on the bass clef next, like C, B, A, G, F. You end up playing piano like this for a really long time until you like know the notes. And like middle C position is one of the stupidest things because you're doing this only because of the reading, the limitation of reading. There's so many problems with middle C positions because once you are out of that beginning stage, you hardly ever use middle C position. It's kind of like useless position you learn because you're limited in your reading. And then like it just forces you to have really bad like technique. We don't want you to play piano like this, but students end up playing piano like this, you know? So my goal is for my students to just be able to loosen up on the piano and be able to access all parts of the piano as soon as they can. And I use rote pieces for that. So I'm going to talk about a couple of rote pieces, and I'm going to make a PDF where you can find where the rote, like where you can purchase it if you want, and I will also find some YouTube tutorials for you.